All right, listeners, forgive me if I use super a lot throughout this segment because it's not even a play on words with our guest. I'm just so excited to welcome the Super Carlin Brothers on From Print to Podcast. They might be internet famous as content creators with over 2 million subscribers and 600 million views on YouTube. They also have their own popcorn culture podcast with almost 3 million downloads. However, they're also Roanoke famous as small business owners who strive in giving back to our local community. Benjamin and Jonathan, aka Ben and J Carlin, were featured as winners in our 40 Under 40 class of 2023, which you can now read in our Jan-Feb issue on newsstands now or see more at theroanoker.com. Hi, Ben. Hi, Jay. Thanks so much for coming onto our show today.
Hey, awesome. Thanks for having us.
This is really exciting. I feel like we got real professionals in here.
No, I don't know about that. Yeah, whatever. But
no, we're super excited. I feel like we're like Roanoke kind of born and raised, and like our dad was like on the cover of the Roanoker magazine when we were kids. So,
right?
Like, for us, this was always like I think we were even in a photo shoot for that.
I think we were inside that one.
You were. Actually, I had to go back through some archives a couple of weeks ago, and I was like, oh my gosh, there's John Carlin looking so young, and he's like your guys' age, like on that cover.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I think he was there for being voted sexiest man in Roanoke.
Probably,
it was like
well, this is a weird one.
Outstanding.
We don't do that category anymore. But he should win every year for sure.
There you go.
So actually, you can read a lot about what they do for the community in the Jan-Feb issue of the Roanoker, but I really want to hear it from you guys. So how about you tell our listeners a little bit about yourselves, including why the particular path of content creation that you guys chose?
Oh man, it goes back a very long ways, and I don't even think we could have guessed we would have landed where we are now. Like we always joke that if we started the channel today, there's no way we'd call it Super Carlin Brothers. Like it'd be like, movie theory or something, or like something like that. But like way back when I was in college, I realized it was about my junior year that I was like watching more YouTube than I was like regular TV, and I was like, oh man, this is interesting. This is the like shift in my viewership habits. And then after a while, I realized like most of the people I'm watching are just like sitting in their bedroom with a camera, because this was like very early days of YouTube.
Right.
Like people weren't really doing it, and I was like, I'm studying communication. I think I could do it. So I started. I started making videos just out of my bedroom in college. Kind
of to the shock and awe, I think, to the rest of like the family and our friend group entirely. Like,
why are you shy? Are you like?
Well, I think that it was always something like I really like wanted to do, but like anytime I tried to get like anyone even remotely in the realm of like doing stuff on camera or like trying to like perform in any way, it was like nah.
Yeah,
and it was like
anybody who's heard their voice on microphone, they're like, oh, I hate the way my voice sounds.
Yeah, okay, guilty. I have to hear step out.
Absolutely,
I'm sick of hearing myself already.
Yeah,
100% a thing.
I had enough shared interest with the rest of my friends that it was never really a problem, but like left to completely my own devices in college, was like, I'm gonna go for it. So I did that. That was a completely separate channel that's not really active anymore, but it was like my first foray into YouTube.
Gotta start somewhere.
I gotta start somewhere. So did that, graduated. I got up to, I think I had like 900 subscribers or something on that channel, which was, at the time I was like so proud of.
Pretty impressive. That's early like Facebook days too. So
yeah. That's where I was marketing it all. That was like how I remember my first interview for like my first real job. Like everything I said was just like how I grew my YouTube channel, and they're like, this is amazing.
You're what we need.
You're what we want. But I graduated. I got like a real job. I had to stop doing YouTube for a while. But then like I felt like maybe I'll start again. I'll have like a fresh start. I have a little experience behind me. I know more what to do this time. And at the time I was a really big fan. Well, still am, but I was a big fan of the Vlog Brothers, John and Hank Green. And they had done this project where they had this like year-long conversation back and forth with each other on YouTube. And I was like, I have a brother, and he's like way funnier than me, so I'll just get Ben to do it with me, and it's a slam dunk. It can't miss. So I asked Ben if he wanted to do it, and I had the name Super Carlin Brothers. And Ben, I'm not sure really super wanted to do it, but
not even really at all. Like I was on the complete opposite end of the spectrum. Like the YouTube videos that I was watching were like, how to fix your furnace.
Sure.
Like I was not watching YouTube for entertainment.
How to brown butter is usually my search engine topic.
Right, yeah.
Right, yeah. It's like I was trying to like just like learn how to like fix things or whatever, but like I was never using YouTube for entertainment purposes. And so like when I agreed to do it, like, and this is sort of like the origin story of the channel, it was kind of like, from my end of things, it was like I needed a roommate. Like, I wanted to not move back in with mom and dad upon graduating college. Jay was like in a position to move out of the house, and it was like, well, we could be roommates, and maybe as part of that, like, I'll do this channel for a year and it'll be fine. It'll be a commitment, but like, at least it'll mean that we're living on our own. We're doing it. So I remember I sat down. I mean, the first time I ever opened video editing software was the day I shot my first video.
Holy
and
cow.
It was like, here we go.
Yeah.
And it's, I mean, not to say that's not a brag, because it's bad. it's real bad, but
You might as well rip the Band-Aid off, right? Like,
I know,
you got to get in it.
exactly.
You don't know what you don't know, so it's time to learn.
right. It was like 7 hours of editing, like a 2.5-minute video with absolutely like no real cuts, edits.
That's how long it takes me to do Instagram Reels.
Oh my gosh, I know. Yeah, it's so difficult. It's so frustrating. So anyway, yeah, that's really how I kind of got like roped into the equation. And I mean, at that point in time, like, to say that like I couldn't have even imagined where it would be today is, I mean, it's the absolute truth. Like, I on the wildest dreams, it was not.
Yeah, we're
where
not
it
talking
went.
tens of thousands. We're talking millions here. I mean, you're talking about an international audience who is, again, they're hearing the great content that you're creating in entertainment and media, but they're also hearing about Roanoke, which is really key here, because obviously you're bringing people to our community, both citizens and, visitors alike. And so you're really showcasing them a sweet side of Roanoke that they might not know otherwise unless they saw content creation.
Yeah, and that's been a huge thing for us too. I mean, like, we've brought it up a lot. Even last year's like Go Fest, for example, we were doing like a live episode of our podcast, Popcorn Culture, and we basically just put the bat signal out, and we were like, if you guys want to come and see a like completely free episode of our show live in person, it's a great way to come out. And like, we had our coffee company set up like a booth while we were there, so like people could come and like try out the coffee for the first time, go and explore Roanoke, and of course see this live show. And we ended up having like 230 people come out from all over the country, from Puerto Rico. Like, it was amazing to see like that people wanted to see all these places we've been talking about for years
because you
now.
pointed it out, you highlighted it, and now you're like people they look up to, and I know that you're a perfect person for advice on that. Like, that's awesome.
Yes, yeah. Like, when you have somebody come in and they're like, "Yeah, we're from Oklahoma. We just checked out Blue Cow. You're right, it's the best," and it's like,
no.
it is the best. Like,
Yeah, I told you. Geez.
right? Yeah. Really, really cool and very exciting to get to like have everybody kind of converge on the area. Like,
Yeah. And so we're actually, just so listeners know, we are doing a bonus spinoff episode with the Super Carlin Brothers here momentarily, and we'll get a little bit more into this. But one of the things that I find really interesting, particularly because I know you guys on the local level, you're working with major brands. You're working with Disney and Marvel and EA Games, and oh my gosh, like, how does that even, without getting too far into it, because I want to save the good stuff for the bonus, but
Sure. No, I mean, those are the emails that you get, like, from like the various like talent people that we work with, and like they lead, with the NDA. Like, they're like, there's a brand that you want to work with.
Wink.
Can you sign this paper so we can tell you about it? And then like, you get past those pages of like the legalese and everything, and you're like, no way. We are working like with like Lucasfilm is on the header of this.
how do you not, like, the little kid in you must just be like,
I know. God. There was probably one of the craziest ones we went on was we got approached by Google Arts and Culture, which is like, and they were working with Pottermore, which is a website that's, it's like it was the main Harry Potter website. Now it's called Wizarding World. But they were doing a collaboration with the British Library.
Yep.
Yeah, where they had this like giant history of magic display, and they like, I guess all three of those circles like connected, and at the very center of it was us, and it's like the people they wanted to like host whatever videos they were making, and it was like, oh my gosh, really? And they like flew us out to London, and we got this like behind the scenes tour at the museum.
oh my God, the
and we got
inner
to
nerd
like,
is so jealous.
I know, we got to like,
I know, yeah. We're like we're just like flipping
I know,
out. Like,
it
we
was wild.
we were allowed to like have our cameras out and stuff like that, and you could tell that these people, like, from like the production company, they were like, oh, we found the right people. Like, we walk out. It's called the Ridley Scroll. scroll is like
Ripley scroll.
The Ripley scroll
Yeah.
rather is like the original like document that like showcased how the Philosopher's Stone was supposed to be created. Like
Can't see my face, but my jaw just dropped.
I know, yeah, like a real thing. Like
Yeah.
this is not like a creation of the Wizarding World.
It's like 23 feet long.
yes,
Yeah.
and so like I mean we're just drooling. You know?
Yeah.
No way.
No, this is awesome.
So just some absolutely like unbelievable opportunities that have cropped up over the years, and it's I mean to get to be involved with them for us, and again being from here in Roanoke, it's like. It's just unreal. It's like we've found ourselves like behind the scenes, at Disney World. We've been on a film set in LA. We've flown to London. Like there's been some really remarkable opportunities, and we're just every single year that goes by, we're like, has the coolest thing happened? Like, or is there more?
Have we peaked? Is it too much?
I know. Yeah, have we peaked?
Well, last year we got invited to Disney World to like preview the Star Wars Halcyon, like their new like interactive theater experience or whatever.
Yes,
I don't know what the appropriate word to call it was, but that was like, man, this is pretty cool.
Yeah.
We've peaked. It's over.
This is it. I don't know.
Well, and that's so cool. And it's especially cool. You get to travel and do all these things because of what you're doing, but then you come home to Roanoke and you get to be here with your family
Yep.
and friends and some place that you've grown up here. I mean, you're from here. Your family's, been in the area for a long time. And I think that's really exciting that you're bringing it back home,
It is. In Roanoke, it's like, it is one of those things people, like, sometimes we'll run into people and they're like, oh, we thought you guys lived in LA. And we'll be like, nope, we live here. And, it's an awesome place, especially for, like, YouTube, or at least for us. I mean, obviously our family's from here.
Right.
So that's really helpful. And now we all have, our spouses are from here and their parents are from here. So it's like, we're not traveling all around holidays and stuff. Like, it's just big family going on now.
I'm jealous of no
Yeah.
travel for that too, for you
Yes.
guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of nice stuff. But then, like, even just, like the cost of living in Roanoke is really nice for like content creation, because it's like a lot of your income is just coming in through like, like brand deals or AdSense or something. And it's like Google or like the AdSense isn't taking into account like the cost of living wherever you are.
Right.
It's not
All your
like,
money isn't going to rent.
Right. Yeah.
Exactly. Yes,
Yeah. And it's like, it's not like, oh, this person's address is in New York. Let's bump up their AdSense a little. And it's like, no, they don't care. So it's like, the fact that we live in an area where the cost of living is much more affordable is like really nice too.
Yes,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, and bringing it to a local level. So again, we mentioned that you guys were in our class of 2023, our 40 under 40, which we're really proud to showcase just young professionals in the region doing amazing things. And so being from the area and, having seen a couple of those go around, I'm so excited to have you guys be part of that class this year, and was sort of curious what it means to you to have, I will say, a couple of nominations on your behalves to make sure that you were part of that class.
Yeah, I mean, it was really exciting for us, honestly. Like we said, like, we grew up in the area, and like our dad, being like a local newscaster in the area, who's like very involved with a lot of like local organizations, and he kind of has his hands in everything. It's like, I think as kids, we always kind of joked and said, like, when we had dinner with our dad at the dinner table, it usually meant that like he was on the 5 o'clock news on the TV in the room with us during taco night. And so like for us, like with the Roanoke magazine, it's something like where we've seen him sort of achieve like a lot of accolades, and it's kind of been this like very aspirational thing for us as we grew up, like knowing that living here, being here is like a big part of like who we are. So it's like the Roanoke feels like this iconic piece of what it means to live in this area. So to be included on that list for us was huge. We were really excited about it. It was like, we had like a celebration in the office when we got that email. It's like trying to play it cool, but we were so excited. It was
well,
really
thank
fun.
you. And
Absolutely.
not to toot our horn on that, but gosh, I really appreciate that. That's really kind of you to say. So
Well,
thank you.
we have like a tiny obsession with like the ways in which you can be recognized by things locally. Like you'd think like for like you mentioned like, yeah, we have like an international audience, and like we have like one of the running jokes on our podcast is that our local high school, Cave Spring High School, where we went there, if you look at their Wikipedia page, they have like notable alumni listed.
Oh my gosh, are you on it? Please
No,
tell me.
we're not.
We're not
You hear
on
that,
it.
Cave Spring?
So
High?
this
You need
is
to get through.
exactly.
I know.
So this is like one of those things. Like one of these days.
Once you're on that Wikipedia page, then you've peaked.
Exactly.
Yes, that will be
exactly.
it.
That's
That will
really
be
it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That will be it.
Oh, man. So actually, let's jump into talking about one of your other businesses, Carlin Brothers Coffee, because we had mentioned that in your 40 under 40, because it's doing so many good things for our local community. We're talking about, $20,000 being donated last year between this and the Super Carlin Brothers and the efforts that are going into that, the Freya Foundation that you guys are helping. And
Yep.
so I wondered if you wanted to just let listeners know a little bit about, your coffee and the line and everything that's going into that.
Yeah, I mean the coffee company again was like one of those situations where it was kind of like the right place at the right time. And we were like so jazzed that it could happen. Because when we had first started the YouTube channel, like we're of course like sitting in our, our living room of our house and everything. And we're just drinking so much coffee as we're trying to like.
I had to assume it came from a love of the coffee bean. Yes.
Absolutely.
This isn't just for fun now. We're serious about this.
Right. So, it's like our rocket fuel. It's like, how you like stay on the edge or whatever. But so like, we're reaching out to coffee companies. We're trying to find like a sponsorship or something. And it was like the type of thing we were struggling to find something that was like a good fit or the right budget or whatever for like the ad dollars. And the talent manager that we were working with at the time, his like next door neighbor in the condo he lived in Orlando happened to be this guy who owned this boutique coffee company.
Who also used to work for like this big multi-channel network YouTube company.
Yeah, so he was like...
Well, that's kind of kismet, right?
It was.
The most remarkable cross-section of human being. And so, like we're down there, we're doing some business, and like we realize that we have these like overlapping interests, and he's like, what if we try to take, because they have this like boutique coffee brand in the Orlando area, and they kind of want it to be like, the Cuban cigars of the area. Like they want it to be
an Orlando thing,
a draw to the Orlando area. But everything else that they're doing, I mean, it looks like walking into like this like high-end cocktail bar, like you can order a coffee martini, like a non-alcoholic coffee martini at 8 a.m. on your way to work if you want.
I know. It comes in a martini glass.
Yes, it's gorgeous.
Let's follow up here.
Awesome. I know.
If you're in Orlando, it's called Foxtail Coffee. It's really good, but
it is very cool. Very cool experience. But so what they wanted to do was then be able to take this like boutique coffee. It's like craft beer, but it's craft coffee, and find a way to deliver that to like a national or international audience. And so basically, this one guy who's like the neighbor of our talent manager ends up being the person who realizes that there's this like amazing opportunity there. And so we hit it off with him, and we were able to start putting together the brand, which is just Carlin Brothers Coffee. Our bag is just like jam packed with all sorts of little Easter eggs, of course, and everything. It's very it was very much inspired by the movie Pixar's Coco.
Yeah,
the Dia de los Muertos vibes and everything.
That's my husband's favorite one. Yeah,
that's awesome. That's a good one. Yeah.
So we had so much fun putting everything together. We were so excited to like curate like what our coffee blend was going to taste like. But then on top of everything else, we wanted to be sure that like to us it was like the real gold was that we got to have it. It was like we weren't looking at it necessarily from this like super investment-y type of perspective. Like it wasn't necessarily something that we needed to go and like dig into and have be like a big generator of revenue or anything like that, but we wanted to make sure that it was also giving back along the way. And so through that process, it was a really excellent way for us to incorporate basically just dollars from every purchase made to different foundations. And we're actually in the process right now of communicating with shifting the foundation that we're working with most directly to Feeding Southwest Virginia. So
fabulous.
Yeah, so we're
wonderful organization. They could definitely use your love, I'm sure.
Absolutely. Yep. So it's been cool. And every piece of merchandise that we create, we try to do the same thing with, which is that
go get your merch. I can't wait to.
Yes, everything tries to funnel back somehow, give back somehow.
That's awesome. And that's so great. And you had mentioned, your dad participating in a lot of things, and I know that, your mom has as well. I know of her through people with the SBCA. And so obviously nonprofits and giving back to the community has been something instilled in you probably since birth. I mean,
absolutely since birth. I mean, growing up, it was like every weekend we were at some other 5K or some charity event that our dad was emceeing or involved in, and it was like, okay, I guess this is what we're doing now.
Yes, that's your Saturday, man.
Saturday. That's right.
YMCA, St. Francis.
Yeah.
Just a little bit of everything. Yeah. So we've gotten to pop around, gotten to see it, firsthand. And I think our parents both were great mentors in that way. Like, we got to see them prioritizing it in a way that was very organic and authentic.
Super role models.
Yes.
Yeah, indeed. Perfect. So before we launch into our next bonus episode, wanted to talk about your favorite things to do in Roanoke. And I know this is tough because there are so many. And especially I think it's cool to note because with family, what can you do around the area with family? It's not just you and your spouse or whatever, but your kids or your mom and your dad, like anything that's sort of family friendly too.
Oh man, well I'll tell you the thing we did. We just did this a couple weekends ago, and It probably is my favorite thing to do. But me and Ben and our dad went out to Carvin's Cove, and we were just like hitting the trails on mountain bikes.
Yeah, because I see your dad's got the biking on Instagram. I see
Oh
that
my
a lot.
gosh, our dad has so many things. He's got like a YouTube channel called like Bikes for Boomers.
Yep.
He's got I think he's got like a Sark rider or something.
Yeah, for
I don't know.
the sarcoidosis.
Yeah, which is a very niche one. He's got like a John Carlin's Virginia biking blog in there. He's got a lot of
Does
things
he
in the
sleep?
air.
Not to make it about him, but
Oh, I know. Yeah, it's one of, I mean, it's unreal. Like, you know, I'll call him, you know, like on a Sunday morning. He's like, yeah, I'm just editing a podcast. I'm like, Dad, just sit on the back porch and drink coffee.
Right.
It's fine.
he'll never retire.
I know.
Yeah, no, he won't.
Yeah.
That's true. But that's also another thing. Like his dad is the exact same way.
I know. Yeah. Just one gen to the next.
Well, I think you're seeing
Yeah.
your future then. So,
I know.
Maybe just a
I
little-
know.
a
I
glimpse
know. Well,
into
Ben
it.
has asked me before. He's like, what would you do if like we were retired? And I'd be like, wow, I'd feel like I could finally sit down and finally make some videos. You know,
I do exactly what we're
if I
doing.
could just stop working, I could really work on some videos. You know.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But to bring it back to your question, the other big thing that we love to do in the area is eat. I feel like
Me too.
I don't know
drink.
whether or not if you can even say Roanoke is underrated in this department, but like I think the food scene here is just fantastic. I mean, there are so many like amazing farm to table restaurants that you can go to. I mean, we love Local Roots, River and Rail. Like, you know,
yeah.
we try to pop around as much as we possibly can and just go and like take in as much of the food as we can. And I super enjoy that. And of course, then have the beer scene in Roanoke.
The beer scene
which-
is awesome.
Yeah.
That's
Craft-
been so fun to watch, like explode.
Yes, yeah. And so many other breweries have done a really great job of even making those reasonably family friendly where you can
Yeah.
go and sort of like have a fire pit and hang out outside and, you know,
Yeah.
get some fresh air and all the rest. So, we try to go and explore Roanoke as much as we can.
Yeah, are you guys out? I mean, you mentioned Carvin's Cove, so you're obviously a little outdoorsy, if not a lot.
Oh, yeah.
right?
Yes, yeah. Yeah,
For sure.
Mountain biking was probably another one of the ones that we were sort of brought up on. We were also both, you know, cross country runners in high school for Cave Springs.
Yep.
So done the drumstick dash every year on Thanksgiving.
We're really working on that Wikipedia page for you guys. I promise.
Exactly.
Yeah, there you go.
exactly. Actually, speaking, if we want to bring it all the way full circle, speaking of like biking and stuff and the coffee, we just launched our brand new Carlin Brothers bike blend.
Yeah, the
of
Nimbus
coffee.
bike blend.
The Nimbus bike blend.
Love it.
Yeah, which is really cool. So what that one does is 100% of the proceeds of that actually going towards building trails at Carvin's Cove or
killer.
maintaining them
That's
or whatever.
so awesome.
Yeah.
Man, there's so much that you guys are doing and so much going on, and I can't wait to talk about it in our bonus episode.
Absolutely.
So for the meantime, thank you so much to Ben and Jay, the Super Carlin Brothers, for being on From Print to Podcast and for all they're doing to highlight our amazing region and give back to the community through their businesses and company efforts. Be sure to stay tuned for that special bonus episode as we dig even deeper into the great things they're doing to give back to the community. Anything else you guys want to add?
Thank you so much.
Thanks for having us. Yeah.
Absolutely. Anytime, all the time. Anytime you want. We'll be sticking around, so please stay tuned. The bonus episode will be available in coming weeks, and you'll learn more about their legacy, future goals, favorite content topics, and more. Be sure to follow the Super Carlin Brothers on social media at their YouTube page, the Super Carlin Brothers, and see their 40 Under 40 Class of 2023 inclusions in our Jan-Feb issue on newsstands now or at theroanoker.com. Thanks so much.